He was the legendary film producer at the top of his game, with the world at his feet. But Harvey Weinstein became the first major figure taken down by the Me Too movement.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for celebrities who were most infamously shut out of Hollywood over scandalous beliefs or behavior.
OJ's football legacy is destroyed. People will never remember or think about what a great running back he was.
Number 30, Joss Whedon. Raising creative standards across genres and mediums, Joss Whedon was one of pop culture's most respected minds.
Equality is not a concept. It's not something we should be striving for. It's a necessity. Equality is like gravity. We need it to stand on this earth as men and women.
The man behind Buffy the Vampire Slayer was particularly regarded for his outspoken feminism. Then, in 2020, actor Ray Fisher accused him of being harshly unprofessional as director of 2017's Justice League. This inspired a studio inquiry and many more colleagues to call out Whedon's toxic work environment.
And I knew I was taking a really big risk by saying this because, I go to cons all the time and, it's a great deal of my income. And these days, and I was really putting myself in a position to alienate my fandom.
The most harrowing stories of abuse came from women. Thus, one of Hollywood's most prolific filmmakers was removed from numerous projects and could not get any more off the ground. Whedon has acknowledged that he can be a bit totalitarian on set. Nonetheless, as of 2025, he has not been seen since his downfall. Number 29. Amber Heard. Public opinion has shifted wildly for the versatile actress and activist Amber Heard. She particularly came under scrutiny when ex-husband Johnny Depp sued her over a Washington Post op-ed that alleged domestic abuse.
It was very, very toxic. We were awful to each other. I made a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes. But I've always told the truth.
The high-profile 2022 trial saw both parties exchange disturbing accounts of verbal, physical, and psychological cruelty. Meanwhile, histories of other volatile relationships came to light. Though Depp was found to be defamed, the trial damaged his reputation. It destroyed Heard's.
There's absolutely no question that especially Johnny Depp's lawyers are playing to the public. There's no question.
The stasis of her career raised debates about whether the former couple's disgrace was proportionate and how Hollywood responds to abuse scandals based on gender. There's less debate over which party's accusations were more professionally devastating. Number 28, Ingrid Bergman. A love story nearly snuffed out one of Europe's brightest stars in Tinseltown.
I was just the simple girl, the refugee, and the good girl. And I got very, very tired of always being so good.
America's moral panic following World War II became focused on Ingrid Bergman's extramarital affair with Italian filmmaker Roberto Rossellini. The couple had just had a child when Bergman divorced Petter Lindstrom and remarried. With her reputation in the U.S. in tatters, she returned to Europe to work exclusively on her new husband's films. It is believed that Rossellini was highly possessive of Bergman's career. Of course, backlash over how they got together was mostly responsible for the once idolized actress's downfall. Only after her divorce from Rossellini in 1957 was Bergman able to return to Hollywood in triumph.
No matter what they think, they will accept you.
For £10 million, gladly.
They would accept me and pretend to love me for money? Is that what they are like?
Isn't everyone?
Number 27, Janet Jackson. Even today, some blacklistings say more about society than the disgraced party. Such is the case of music and movie star Janet Jackson, who helmed the 2004 Super Bowl halftime show with Justin Timberlake. The electric performance was meant to end with Timberlake ripping off a piece of Jackson's top to reveal a red bra. That also came off, exposing her right breast. Despite Jackson's immediately visible shock, she experienced major commercial and professional decline for years.
All the emphasis was put on me, not on Justin. And Justin, we were friends.
Meanwhile, Timberlake received virtually no backlash for planning and botching the stunt. Jackson's comeback in the 2020s opened a dialogue about racial and gender factors in her downfall. Still, the so-called Nipplegate continues to blemish her legendary career. Number 26, Rose McGowan. The risk involved in the Me Too movement was perhaps embodied by Rose McGowan. In 2017, she was one of the first actresses to accuse producer Harvey Weinstein of sexual assault.
every time I thought about those black dresses, I would get a body flashback. Every time.
What do you
Even
mean?
right now.
What do you mean by body flashback?
I can feel them there.
She also accused other industry figures of blackballing her for privately reporting the incident. McGowan had indeed disappeared for most of the 2010s, but hasn't had much more of a comeback since her courageous statement. Her career has also been stifled by a long history of on-set hostility and inflammatory comments. McGowan's reinvention as an often divisive progressive activist has all but ended her acting career.
People make like a really big deal out of anger, and they make a really big deal out of fear. And I think fear is just the biggest enemy of my life. There is no right way to be a woman. You can't win.
While she initially said the last thing she wanted was to tie her legacy to monsters, she's made great sacrifices to hold them accountable. Number 25. Marsha Hunt and Robert Presnell Jr. The Red Scare didn't scare off all of its targets. Actress Marsha Hunt and screenwriter Robert Presnell Jr. publicly opposed the House Committee on Un-American Activities from the beginning.
She did it to support something she believed in. The consequences, however, were devastating later on.
The married couple's refusal to respond to allegations of communist sympathies ruined their careers in 1950. Rather than go into hiding, however, they traveled the world to promote humanitarian causes. Hunt and Presnell did land some projects before their comeback by the end of the decade, but Hunt mostly retired on her own terms after the 60s to focus on more important work.
Being blacklisted slowed her career down, but says it certainly didn't end it.
I wanted the greatest variety of roles that I could be given. And thank God they gave him to me.
Despite the establishment's efforts to bury Hunt and Presnell's talents, they're even more renowned for a lifetime of dedicated activism. Number 24. Sondra Locke. Oscar-nominated for her first role, Sondra Locke really became a star for her professional and domestic partnership with Clint Eastwood.
Clouds over there. Clouds are like dreams floating across the sky blue mind.
This would also be her undoing. After the 14-year-long affair ended in 1989, Locke sued Eastwood with claims of abusive behavior and breach of contract. She also charged Warner Brothers with conspiring to blackball her. They settled out of court with a development deal, but Locke received another settlement a few years later when work failed to materialize. She ultimately had just a few credits between the breakup and her passing in 2018. Eastwood's claim that Locke was just out for money constitutes a classic he said, she said situation. Directly or not, he did kill a promising acting and filmmaking career.
Yeah? Yeah.
Number 23. Dorothy Parker. Even the literary darling Dorothy Parker felt she was slumming it when she turned to screenwriting in the 1930s. She was proven right when the Hollywood system proved less than accepting of her left-wing views. Parker had become a household name and scored 2 Oscar nominations when the publication Red Channels named her a communist in 1950. She would become one of the first public figures to fall victim to McCarthyism. Even her status in other writing fields took a hit. Parker continued working in radio and activism, but her eventual comeback was stunted by increasing alcohol dependency. Succumbing to a heart attack in 1967, Parker is as celebrated as ever, but lost everything to the Hollywood elites she loathed. Number 22. Paul Robeson. An accomplished athlete, scholar, singer, and actor, Paul Robeson was an all-American treasure.
Paul Robeson was great at everything he did, and he did a lot. An acclaimed singer, actor, all-American football player, Ivy League-educated lawyer, prize-winning orator. Robeson spoke over a dozen languages in a bass baritone voice that moved people.
But he would be labeled un-American for his open criticism of his homeland and support for the Soviet Union. After a high-profile trip to Moscow to promote peace in 1949, Robeson was practically eliminated from American public consciousness. Despite his popularity and accolades abroad, his passport was frozen until 1958. His career would never fully recover even after McCarthyism ended with the decade.
While he looked strong on the outside, the many years of isolation, alienation, and government hostility had taken a toll and would soon begin to show.
Robeson's continued criticism of foreign governments made him an international pariah by the time health concerns forced him to retire in the 60s. He would still never give up on activism, and is now respected for that as much as his immense talent. Number 21. Dashiell Hammett. Revolutionary, at least in detective fiction, Dashiell Hammett was subject to his own tragic investigation. The literary icon and film noir trailblazer was also a left-wing activist registered to the Communist Party. After being held in contempt for refusing to testify during the Smith Act trials, Hammett faced backlash that culminated in his blacklisting in 1953. His more brazenly leftist domestic partner Lillian Hellman was also blacklisted, but returned to form in the 1960s. Meanwhile, Hammett's resignation to advertising drove him to debilitating depression and alcohol dependency. His decline and sudden death from lung cancer in '61 marked one of the most heinous injustices of the Red Scare. Hammett and Hellman are remembered as martyrs as well as subversive artists. Number 20. Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf had a promising career for many years.
A wise man once said, "A well-fed volunteer is a happy volunteer."
He was constantly reinventing himself, exploring new creative paths, and always surprising people.
We done some hard traveling to get to you. It's a big deal seeing you here. You mind waving to him?
But from 2014 onwards, many of his actions were surprising for all the wrong reasons. Substance abuse issues were at the root of several arrests of the actor, including one in Savannah, Georgia in 2017, in which LaBeouf was racist and abusive towards police officers. Then in 2020, the Even Stevens star faced a lawsuit over battery and assault from former girlfriend, English recording artist FKA Twigs. While the case is ongoing, LaBeouf has faced severe backlash over this, and was reportedly let go from the Olivia Wilde project Don't Worry Darling due to his alleged poor behavior and treatment of others on set. Number 19. Josh Trank. Josh Trank emerged as one of Hollywood's hottest up-and-coming directors following the critical and commercial success of 2012's Chronicle. This led to him directing the Fantastic Four reboot, but things didn't exactly go as planned after that. On set, Trank was reportedly difficult to work with, continuously distancing himself from the cast and crew. Things unraveled further when it was revealed that Trank had caused $100,000 worth of damage to a house he was renting during filming. This sort of behavior would eventually cost him the chance to helm a standalone Star Wars picture, and seemingly shoved him off Hollywood's radar, save for the 2020 gangster flop, Capone.
I'm going to fix this. You can't fix this. Nobody can.
Number 18. Lloyd Bridges.
It's like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
Imagine history had gone differently. Imagine Lloyd Bridges had been permanently blacklisted from Hollywood. Would Airplane have been as funny? What about Hot Shots? Would his sons, Jeff and Beau Bridges, even be actors?
But I think the thing that I learned most about acting from him was just the joy in which he approached the thing.
Thankfully, Lloyd Bridges wasn't blacklisted forever. But what did he do to be barred in the first place? Simple. He was affiliated with the Actors Laboratory Theater, which was alleged to have ties to communism. Bridges testified truthfully before the House Un-American Activities Committee, the Congressional Communist Hunt Committee, and was then blacklisted from Hollywood, but later returned after the FBI cleared his name.
You risked the lives of some damn fine pilots. Well, that's my job.
Number 17. Thora Birch.
Full moon outside. The weirdos are out.
With Hocus Pocus and American Beauty, Thora Birch did an excellent job establishing herself as one of the industry's brightest young stars. But since the 2000s, Birch has been relegated to indie films and small television roles. So what gives? How does an actress with so much talent disappear overnight? The answer? Her father and manager, Jack Birch, a former 70s adult star, who demanded to be present during his daughter's love scenes and threatened crew members when things didn't go his way. His antics have gotten Thora fired more than once, resulting in Hollywood turning its back on her and Birch going on to take a break from acting, though she subsequently returned to showbiz. Number 16. Isaiah Washington.
Don't sweat it, Shepard. I'll only be your boss for a few days.
At one time, this Grey's Anatomy star was an up-and-coming Hollywood favorite. However, he struggled to get quality work ever since he was evidently blacklisted from the game in the mid-2000s. Washington's difficulties resulted from an apparent on-set dispute with a Grey's Anatomy co-star. According to reports, Washington hurled homophobic slurs, and after being chastised, he went on to do so again. He was fired from Grey's Anatomy on June 7, 2007, and while he went on Larry King Live less than a month later to defend himself, Washington only seemed to dig a deeper hole. Ever since the controversy, we haven't seen Washington in much.
I can't change that narrative, but what I can do is upset the absolutes about who I am as a human being.
Number 15. CeeLo Green.
You did a great job, you know it too. You did a great job.
Yes, sir.
CeeLo Green is a man of many talents, and trouble is just one of them. Being a successful singer, record producer, and TV personality didn't matter much when Green was accused of sexual battery and drugging a woman in 2012. He was eventually sentenced to 3 years probation, ordered to attend Alcoholics or Narcotics Anonymous meetings, and perform a round of community service. The Atlanta native continues to make music and shows up on reality TV from time to time. But his run-in with the law still cost him, as his show CeeLo Green's The Good Life was canceled after he posted controversial tweets about the case on his Twitter account.
Hi, my name is CeeLo Green, and I'm coming to TBS.
Number 14. Lena Horne.
I never bother with people I hate. That's why the lady is a tramp.
At her prime, jazz artist, pop singer, dancer, actor, and civil rights activist Lena Horne was one of the most active entertainers in Hollywood. She came up in the 1930s as a vocalist and by the 1940s had worked her way onto the silver screen, signed to Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. However, it's reported that by the 1950s, Horne had lost her lust for Hollywood and was looking to step away. Of course, that didn't matter much since she was blacklisted that decade for her ties to communism in the 40s and was forced out anyway.
I just told them I belong to the same organizations and clubs Mrs. Roosevelt belongs to.
She couldn't get Hollywood roles, but fortunately, nightclubs welcomed her with open arms.
Yesterday, when I was young.
Number 13. Michael Richards.
You called?
No one could have predicted how far Michael Richards' star would fall in the years following his successes with Seinfeld. In the now infamous Laugh Factory incident of 2006, Richards berated a number of audience members with a string of racist remarks, all of which was caught on video. While he was quick to apologize following the incident, the damage was done.
I'm very, very sorry to those people in the audience, the blacks, the Hispanics, the whites, everyone that was there that took the brunt of that anger.
Suffice it to say, Richards had a hard time finding work after the incident. And in an appearance on Jerry Seinfeld's web series Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, he professed that he's never truly gotten over it. And really, neither has Hollywood.
Have you been back to the factory since?
No, I haven't.
Are you gonna try and go back?
I don't think so.
Number 12. Jim Caviezel. At one time, Jim Caviezel was one of the most promising names in Hollywood. He had the requisite movie star looks, the camera clearly loved him, and his acting chops were solid. But Caviezel's entire career trajectory changed when he starred in one little movie, The Passion of the Christ. Portraying religious figure Jesus Christ, Caviezel actually received acclaim for his performance, but the film angered many in Hollywood for its graphic violence and apparent anti-Semitic undertones. Mel Gibson warned Caviezel about what the role could do to his career, but the actor firmly believed in the movie, saying, quote, "We all have a cross to carry." Number 11. Megan Fox.
Whoa, nice headers. You've got a high-rise double-pump carburetor. That's pretty impressive.
While Megan Fox has appeared in a number of big-budget Hollywood films over the years, her outspokenness towards directors, other actors, and the media led to some degree of blacklisting. Before the third movie started filming, Fox notoriously compared her Transformers director Michael Bay to Hitler. Whether or not that was the reason she didn't appear in the film has been subject to debate. While that statement was insensitive, Bay's treatment of the young actress is certainly worthy of criticism as well.
His solution to that problem was to then have me dancing underneath the waterfall getting soaking wet. And that...
Perfectly wholesome.
At 15.
Thanks in part to the growth of the Me Too movement, Fox has since regained some of her footing in the industry. Number 10. Katherine Heigl.
Just remember that while you're sitting on $200 grand of student loans, I'm out of debt.
With her work as Dr. Izzy Stevens on Grey's Anatomy serving as a launching pad, Katherine Heigl was sought after by many studios. However, reports then emerged that Heigl was difficult to work with.
No.
While that certainly didn't do her any favors, the biggest reason she hasn't found much work is most likely her bad-mouthing of Judd Apatow, Seth Rogen, in their movie Knocked Up.
Wait, what do you mean?
Don't look at me. I mean, we can talk about our fears here. I mean, yeah.
The film helped launch Heigl to stardom, but she publicly criticized the movie, even calling it sexist.
We're not thrilled about it because
if anything, the movie is about what idiots guys are and how it drives women crazy.
Those comments took the wind out of her sails in Hollywood, but she has fought her way back to the screen since then, starring in a main role in the 2021 Netflix series Firefly Lane.
Live from Seattle, this is Tully High.
Whoa!
Number 9. Kathy Griffin.
I'm not afraid of Donald Trump.
Often outspoken, this comedian has seen herself banned from a number of talk shows, including The View and The Ellen DeGeneres Show, for her no-holds-barred brand of humor. Something that was on full display during a 2007 Creative Arts Emmy speech in which she told Jesus to, quote, suck it. That comment got her scheduled appearance on Hannah Montana canceled. But of course, the granddaddy of Griffin misfires was her 2017 social media post that featured her holding a mask that resembled the severed head of the President of the United States, Donald Trump. CNN fired her for the stunt, while her comedy tour was promptly canceled.
Did you think your career was over?
Yeah, I thought there was a really good chance my career was over.
She even doubled down on the photo, posting it again on her 60th birthday in 2020. Number 8. Tippi Hedren. You just can't discuss Tippi Hedren without bringing up Alfred Hitchcock. It was Hitchcock who first discovered Hedren. He was watching The Today Show and was captivated by her appearance in a diet drink commercial. The two set up a meeting, and Hitchcock signed Hedren to a 7-year deal. And Hedren's Hitchcock debut wasn't minor. It was the lead actress role in his acclaimed film The Birds.
I keep telling you, this isn't a few birds.
She even went on to be Hitchcock's muse, until they parted ways.
He told me he'd ruin my career. I said, do what you have to do. I don't care.
According to Hedren, she repeatedly rejected Hitchcock's sexual advances, and he retaliated by ruining her career out of spite. Hitchcock wouldn't release Hedren from her contract, but he wouldn't give her work either.
It's so sad that this relationship had to go that way because I loved working with him. He was not only my director, he was my drama coach.
Number 7. James Woods.
I'm sorry, Ted.
Academy Award-nominated actor James Woods has appeared in dozens of films in his decades-long career. Still, he fell out of Hollywood's good graces in 2017 when he made a number of anti-Obama comments on his Twitter account. Woods, a staunch Donald Trump supporter, didn't seem to care that he was being blacklisted, and at one point tweeted, quote, "The only reason I express my views is that I have accepted the fact that I'm blacklisted." Hollywood, which has long been a Democratic stronghold, didn't appreciate Woods' stance, and because of it, he's been pretty much out of work, whether he's concerned about it or not. Number 6. Mel Gibson.
That they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom!
Gibson's struggles in Hollywood have been among the most public. He was once one of the biggest names in film, starring in movies like Mad Max, Braveheart, and Lethal Weapon, to name a few.
Hey, nose is in the dirt, asshole.
His directorial work has been equally impressive, but despite his talent, Hollywood turned on Gibson in 2006. After being pulled over for a DUI, Gibson reportedly spewed a shocking anti-Semitic rant. He's also been caught making homophobic and other racist slurs. While he's worked on a few projects like the 2016 film Hacksaw Ridge and the John Wick origin series The Continental, Gibson has mostly worn out his welcome in many Hollywood front offices.
You hurt? I'm fine.
Number 5. O.J. Simpson.
Nobody does it better than her.
Remember the time O.J. Simpson was arrested and tried for murdering his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman? Well, so does Tinseltown. Dubbed the trial of the century, Simpson was ultimately acquitted, but with many still believing strongly in his guilt, his life never truly went back to normal. In the years following the controversial verdict, the former athlete, actor, and convicted robber appeared in a grand total of 0 films, a testament to the fact that even if the jury finds you not guilty, Hollywood and the general public has a hard time forgiving suspected murderers.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder.
Number 4. Dalton Trumbo.
I've got allies and enemies. There's no room for anything else.
While more modern examples of Hollywood blacklisting tend to focus on individuals, the 1950s McCarthy-era Hollywood blacklisting was far more wide-reaching, and Dalton Trumbo's story is among the most outrageous. After refusing to testify in front of the House Un-American Activities Committee in 1947, Trumbo was not only ousted from Hollywood, he also served time in prison. That, however, did not stop him from working. Trumbo launched a new subversive career, writing screenplays under pseudonyms and the names of other writers. Two of Trumbo's uncredited works, Roman Holiday and The Brave One, even won Academy Awards.
Is this where I can find the Presidente?
What do you want with the Presidente?
It's about something very important.
Number 3. Harvey Weinstein.
This story was always, in my eyes, about the abuse of power.
Following revelations that shocked few insiders, Harvey Weinstein awoke to a world of trouble in 2017. The reports, which included accusations of violence and harassment by dozens of women, caused many others to speak up, with the count rising to 80 women within weeks of the story breaking. In addition to igniting the Me Too movement and bringing to light other now blacklisted individuals like Kevin Spacey, the allegations led to Weinstein's firing from the Weinstein Company. It also saw his ties to numerous big-name organizations severed, including the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. In 2020, while trials were ongoing, Weinstein was also stripped of his honorary CBE, a British Order of Chivalry. Thanks to his 2022 California conviction, he was sentenced to some prison time, but 2025 saw him back in court, facing a new charge in a New York retrial. Number 2. Charlie Chaplin.
We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery.
Chaplin was the silent movie star. Actually, he's one of the biggest Hollywood stars ever, which makes it all the more surprising that he was blacklisted from the industry. Like others on this list, Chaplin refused to testify in front of the House Un-American Activities Committee, but his punishment was far harsher than others. Since he was not a U.S. citizen, when Chaplin left the country to premiere his film Limelight in London, the U.S. Attorney General revoked his re-entry permit, banning Chaplin from re-entering the United States. Not only was Chaplin blacklisted from working in Hollywood, he was banned from the entire country altogether.
I love this country. I owe it everything. That's precisely why I can criticize it.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Bill Cosby. In 2014, legendary comedian Bill Cosby was publicly accused by dozens of different women of various heinous crimes, dating all the way back to the mid-60s. Charges were filed against him in 2015. After a 2017 mistrial, he was found guilty in 2018, fined $25,000, and given 3 to 10 years in jail. In the interim, Cosby was also dropped by sponsors, saw honorary degrees and awards revoked, and witnessed the entertainment industry turn its back on him. Even reruns of the show that made him a household name were pulled. Despite his conviction being overturned in 2021, Cosby's relationship with Hollywood is all but finished.
Finally, Bill Cosby has been unmasked, and we have seen the real man as he is headed off to prison.
Who are some other stars who fell out of favor with Tinseltown? Name some names in the comments.
You got me blacklisted at Hop Sings? She name.
Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.